Am I live now?
We are. Welcome to Nonprofit Social Media Nerds. This is the first official episode. Welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. I'm really excited that all of you are here today. We're trying out some new software, some new technology, and hopefully it will work. I know it will work because Josh is a whiz at this stuff. If I set it up,
Definitely works.
I mean, if I set it up, it 100% wouldn't work, and we know that. So you're in good hands. So what we're trying to do is most Fridays at noon, Josh and I are going to go live, and we're going to talk about specific tools and specific tips and strategies that nonprofit professionals can use on a shoestring to save money, to do their jobs more effectively and efficiently. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Julia Campbell, and I help nonprofits build their movements and connect with their communities using digital tools and social media. My fellow nonprofit social media nerd is here. It's Josh, and I'll let him introduce himself later, but he is a certified social media strategist and the director of mission and communication for Susan G. Komen, South Florida. And together we co-administer the Facebook group called Nonprofit Social Media Storytelling. That's where we post a lot of information. So if you're not a member, request access. A lot of you are members because we created the event basically for this group. So if you're a member, say hi, give a shout out, and we're so excited to have you here. And then make sure during the broadcast that you do put up your questions in the comments. Josh will be monitoring them, we'll be monitoring them, and we'd love to answer anything, specific, any questions. So first off, I want to know where everybody's watching from. If you don't know where I live north of Boston, and yes, I'm fine. Thank you, by the way, for all the tweets and messages and LinkedIn posts and everything. I really received a lot of questions if my family and I are okay. We are next door to all of the crazy explosions that happened in Lawrence and North Andover and Andover. That's literally next door to where I live, but we were not affected. There is a fundraiser going on right now for all of those affected. I'm happy to share that information with you if you're interested, but thank you all for checking in on me. Another thing, I want to let you know that my Social Media Marketing 301 course, which is called How to Create and Implement an Effective Social Media Calendar. Registration for that course closes Tuesday night at midnight Pacific. And the course is for a really, I'm not going to say select group, it's not select, but it's a pretty small group of nonprofit professionals. And it's going to be 6 weeks working with me in the small group coaching environment to build out your social media calendar for 2019. So I'm going to put the link in the comments. Clearly, if you have questions, email me, call me, message me. But I did want to let you know that if you're interested in that, registration closes Tuesday night, midnight Pacific. Okay. All right. So let's get started. So why are we talking about video? I mean, all of you probably know the importance of video and how it is the most engaging type of content that you can post on your social media channels. But I'm going to give you some specifics, some statistics. So a tweet with a video in it is 6 times more likely to be retweeted than just an image. Buffer studied 880 million Facebook posts in 2017, and I wouldn't want that job, found that, no surprise here, video posts have the highest engagement, the highest average engagement, and twice the level of engagement. We all know YouTube's the second largest search engine after Google. 400 hours of footage are uploaded every single minute onto YouTube. It's kind of blowing my mind now. So what can small nonprofits do? How can we harness this video trend on a shoestring with some simple apps? So Josh, what do you have for us today? What are we going to demo? What are your 3 must-have go-to video tools that you're going to show us today?
All right. Well, we got a few different fun things we're going to talk about. Thank you for everyone joining us today. This is our first official episode of Nonprofit Social Media Nerds. Julie and I had a chance to meet at Nonprofit Technology Conference back in April, and we totally connected. I mean, we talked the same language, and we knew that we needed to take our nerdiness to the next level. So I started working with Julia and helping her co-administer the Facebook group, Social Media Storytelling. Up here at the top, you can see the URL for that group right there, so go check it out. Here is a chance where we can learn from one another, but we knew that, all right, well, we're nerding out more, so that's where this whole video series has evolved from. And if you have any content creation strategy whatsoever, and honestly, if you're just waking up one day and saying, all right, it's Tuesday, what am I posting on social media? Well, we're already like 10 steps behind. So, but that's a conversation for another time. You need to invest your time in video. Video content, it's hot, it's engaging. It allows me to come inside and see your organization. Whether you're producing long-form interviews, whether you're doing Facebook Lives, whether you're just shooting simple interviews, or you're sitting there and doing more in-depth storytelling, video is really where you should be focusing. You don't need anything fancy. I mean, literally, you can just get by with, I'm a Mac guy. I'm all the way for the Apple. I think that high production value has a place, but for today's market, especially on social media, raw, uncut, that's fine. I mean, today you see we've got some lower thirds down here, but that's just because we want a little higher production value with what we're working on. But honestly, just use your iPhone to start shooting, or in Julia's case, use your
Google Pixel. Yay!
Not as much.
You're not a real nerd if you're not using a Google Pixel. Come on now. But that's up for debate later. We could do an Apple Android debate.
Question.
I'm a converted. I started out on iPhone and I converted over. So
usually they go.
I've got you Android people covered. Is what
they go the other way. So I wanted to talk about how do I shoot a video with having no videography skills whatsoever. I don't have anything that... Hey, Artie, thanks for joining in there, buddy. Bebop and Lubop to you, too, as well. So how do you sit there and create quality video without having any of the skills? So we're going to show an app, and I'm going to now stream my phone. You are going to be able to see, and we're just going to move this to the next screen. All right. And here we go. Share screen. So you should now be able to see my iPhone, and we'll just confirm that. So the first app we're going to show you, perfect, I see it working. All right, it's called Nutshell by Prezi. Nutshell is a fabulous app that literally all you have to do is take a picture. And this, right now, what you see in here, it's just a sample little one that I created the other day. For some reason, Prezi, which if you've never used Prezi before, Prezi is a great alternative to PowerPoint. It's more engaging and it has some more animations tied to it. Go Gators is right, Artie. Skeeter Legal, go Gators. So it's a really simple tool. So I'm going to sit here and click the start button. And you can see right now what's happening on my screen. So it begins by taking a picture. The second I take a picture, it is now recording. So it's now recording the audio. It's recording all the movements I'm doing. You can see my office. And then one last one of me. All right. So we're going to show an app.
Very cool.
Now is where we can start adding in our extra little features. So it's just drag and drop. I'm going to sit here and take away this text box because I don't really need a text box, but I want something that's going to spice it up. So let's put in our thumb here. So give it a thumbs up. Oh, the app just crashed on me. Don't you love that? Let's try this again. Maybe this is why they stopped. This is why they stopped supporting it. It worked for me the other day. All right.
That's cool.
Let's try this again. This is why you don't rely on
technology. Oh, that's cool. No, it's my influence. Something happened.
Yeah.
It's my tech fail aura.
All right. Well.
That's cool. It's live video. It's fine.
It's not loving us today, but that's okay. So the next tool I wanted to show is, all right, so there's great apps out there like Ripple. Ripple is a nice video editing app. There's ones like Adobe Spark Post where you can create Simple animated, almost GIFs, if you will.
Gifts.
Yeah, right.
That's another thing we fight about too.
So it's another simple way that you can create some cool animation, but a lot of them will drop a watermark in the bottom corner. So how do I sit there and create this great content without having the watermark show up? So I love using watermark video. Watermark video is a awesome, and we're going to sit here and we'll take a quick video. So, hi, this is me taking a video, and I'm going to show you how to put a watermark on it. So we're going to use this video. Now, a lot of times that watermark is a way for them to have you purchase something on their app, so it takes it away. Well, I'm a nonprofit. I don't have a budget for that. So I'm going to use the tools that I have. So we're going to drop in our little watermark here. Once again, drag and drop, really simple. For this example, we just have a nice picture of some fresh watermelon from a great restaurant. Or you could drop in your organization's logo or a branding or a sponsor to cover up that watermark. The app developers might not like this, but hey, we got to get creative, right? So, really simple. Hi, this is me taking a video, and I'm going to show you how to put a watermark on it. So now this video I'm ready to use. I can then save this to export it to my library, and I'm good to go. So now I have in my library a video that has the watermark all set on. Hi, this is me taking a video, and I'm going to show you how to put a watermark on it. So that's a really great tool that I recommend to anyone who's looking to use a third-party app to create some videos that has that watermark and drop it in there. The next rage, and if you aren't investing your time in it now, you really should, is Instagram Stories. Instagram Stories is absolutely 100% where you need to be. And let's move this back. All right. It's totally not seen. All right, not seen. Oh, thank you for that update. We will sit there and make sure you're able to see us now. We'll bring it onto the right screen. Alrighty. Perfect. There we go. Now we got it back on the right screen. You should all be able to see it. The next app, like I said, the Watermark Lite, really simple. I'm going to show it again to you. It's here. So I'm able to sit there and take my video, and we'll select one from the library, one that I just shot. And we can then drop in our watermark. And here we go. So now you're able to have your video that has that watermark from the app on there and cover it up. A little way to cheat around it, but it's how...
What apps does this work with? So
anything. You can bring...
Oh, really?
Literally any video that you're creating. So it's just taking that MP4 file or it's taking the MOV or whatever it is, and then you're just dropping that into it.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
So the next one we're going to show is for Instagram Stories. So Instagram Stories is a chance to have you connect on a different level with your audience. It's to really bring them inside. Snapchat Stories is what was first, and as with everything that Facebook does, they find something good and they repurpose it and take it again. Hi, Abby. Thank you.
Hi, Abby. Yay.
Love it always when we see some friends there join us in the fun. But for Instagram Stories, the reason that I like Instagram more so than Snapchat is, for one, the discoverability factor. If I don't know your Snapchat,
right,
how am I going to see you? How am I going to find you?
You hated it when it first started because you didn't like the fact that it disappeared in 24 hours.
This is true. And I'm still on the fence about Snapchat altogether. I think Instagram has a better place, especially since they are a Facebook
for marketing.
Place.
Yeah.
And when we create an Instagram story, you're able then to move it over to
Facebook Stories.
Exactly, automatically.
Yeah. I love that feature. It saves so much time. There needs to be a way that you can literally automate Snapchat, Instagram stories, Facebook stories. So someone create an app so I don't have to be opening 95 things. And yeah, I loved when Instagram stories did that. Anyway, off topic, but
No,
I know. Having to put things on multiple channels is frustrating to me.
it is, and you know who does a really good job of it is Jim Anderson. Jim will sit there and take one piece of content, and it gets repurposed on so many different channels all at the
Yeah.
same time. Like, it's
Yeah.
crazy how he does it, but he makes it work. But what I want to show today, like I said, we're going to talk really quickly about Instagram Story. We're going to go into it a little more in depth at another time. So on Instagram Story, and we'll pull up. Oh, look, there's Abby in my feed. So let's go to Komen's profile. So on your Komen or on any of your Instagram profile, up here at the top are where you can highlight various stories. So typically when you create a story, that content disappears after 24 hours. But if you're able to create a story, and when I say a story, it has to have an arc. You have a beginning, middle, and end. You're telling someone something. You're not just posting a picture and that's your story. You actually have thought to it. So you can then sit there and highlight it so people can come back at another time and see it. Also, there's a way that you can then repurpose your Instagram story for the web. So if you go to Instagram.com and you pull up that URL, we'll show that at another time, how to do that a little more in depth. But what I wanted to show today is if I wanted to create a story, I would just click on my profile here, and this is how I could do it. I could just take a picture, and then I could add it to my story. But that's kind of boring. I need more produced because I want a higher level quality of content, which is fine. So that's where Unfold comes into play. Unfold is a really cool app to create canvases, if you will. It gives you the opportunity, and we're going to call this IG Demo Story. All right. So in here, then we can have various different layouts from which to choose. So I want to select our top here, and then we'll just drop in this video of me at the top, and we'll drop in my watermelon at the bottom. And then I can sit here and save this specific page. So it's now exporting it to my camera roll.
That's really cool. Wait, I missed this, but is this one of those apps that will cut your video down
No, that's
to IG story length?
That's Cut Story.
Okay, and that's next. Yeah, that's
exactly.
next week.
That's what we'll talk about another time. Cut Story allows you to take long form video and it'll chop it up into the specific length that you need. So we'll show that another time. But we've just created now here in our photo album, we now have our initial canvas. And what's cool is because one of these sections is an image, and one's a video, it's treating this whole as a video. So that way,
hi, this is me taking a video, and I'm going to show you how to put a watermark on it.
Yep.
See, we just taught Abby something. If we can teach Abby something,
I know, right?
Then we're doing good. Then we're doing really good. Let me drop these lower thirds off. We don't probably need our name on there anymore. This is the first time we're using this tech, folks. There's going to be hiccups, so appreciate you bearing with us. We're learning.
Yeah,
It'll be better next time.
That's great. Also, I just realized, Josh, you're absolutely right about my lighting. I look like I'm in a cave next to your bright lighting in your office. I get all defensive about my lighting. I stumbled into some bad lighting. Anyway,
so
it's fine. We'll improve it.
We're here in IG. We're ready to create our story. So what I can then do is then come down here in the bottom left corner is where you're able to go into your camera roll. So now you see here's that canvas that I created, and it's going to sit there, and it's automatically rolling the top as a video. And if I wanted to, I could then add this to my story. And not only is it going to save to the story on my Instagram account, but it's also pushing to Facebook because I have my Instagram account set up as a business profile. So that is just a quick dive into how we use Instagram Story and how you use some tools that I like. We're going to do another session, I think next week, more in depth on Instagram Story itself and really walk you through the whole process.
Perfect. That was awesome. Thank you. Yeah, next week at noon, mark your calendars, noon Eastern, because we're going to dive into Instagram stories and talk about specific ways that nonprofits can use Instagram stories. That's definitely probably like in my top 5 questions I receive from all of everything that I do. Anytime I interact with people, they always ask me about that. And I know that Josh is doing some great work with Susan G. Komen in South Florida on Instagram stories. So follow them on Instagram, take a look at their Instagram stories, and then next week we're going to talk about the tools that he uses to do that. I wanted to leave you with just 3 pretty, I mean, maybe not really quick, but 3 ways that you can increase visibility using your videos. One is, of course, stories, and we'll talk more about that next week, but there's a mental health charity, and I'm going to put the links in the comments, and I'm also going to write a blog post summing all of this up with links and with actual, much more information so that you have it. But there's a mental health charity in the UK. They actually let their supporters at events, certain supporters, of course, and volunteers take over their Instagram account and share stories from the event. So we will watch some of those next week because they're really pretty cool. Number 2 is empower your supporters to take videos for you. So this is something that's incredibly challenging for a lot of organizations. One of the best examples that I've seen is the United for Parkinson's campaign. So it's hashtag United for Parkinson's. That's where an international Parkinson's charity, they did that. They promoted that hashtag, and they wanted to share stories of people authentic in the life. So they didn't want to do some 5-minute long, very produced professional video from their organization. They wanted to show real people struggling with Parkinson's every single day and what that looks like. The videos are so amazing, so amazing. So look up the hashtag United for Parkinson's. But if there's a way you can empower your supporters to share their stories and share their experiences and not have to do it all yourself, then that's really great. Number 3 is to create a video toolkit. So you might think we can't possibly create a video toolkit. I'm talking maybe a 1-page or 2-page document explaining the campaign, explaining exactly what you want people to do. So YouTube actually has a creator's toolkit that you could emulate or you can share with people. It actually is best practice tips that you can just take, or you can share the toolkit, or you can adapt it. And then Facebook also has it. So I just downloaded, and Josh, this would be interesting to see if you have this app, the Facebook Creators app.
Yeah.
I don't even know like how to use it, but I just downloaded it. So Facebook has a creators toolkit on their site. It's facebook.com/creators. That toolkit is really cool. It walks you through best practices in video, best practices in social media, best practices in photography, anything that, so it's great for nonprofits to look at the creators toolkit, but also look at the toolkit and see how you can adapt some of those tips and best practices into your own toolkit for your own supporters and your own audience, and keep it on your website. Give people, ideas on what to film, how to post on social media, instructions on how to use their phone, maybe some tools that we shared today, some other tools that you use, as much information as you can give to empower people to tell their own story. So that's all that I have for today.
I'm going to leave us with one example to show simple. Literally, I shot this in the kitchen of one of our supporters, and how simple it is to really tell this story. Now, I did do just a little video editing in Final Cut Pro, but that's just for the finish. So let's just jump over here, and we'll show this video.
When I was going through all the testing to see before I was actually diagnosed, I actually didn't have insurance because I had a pre-existing illness. And Susan G. Komen stepped in and paid for all my biopsies and MRIs and everything until I was able to get insurance. So that's one reason why I support them 100%, that I'm here because of Susan G. Komen.
So that was a simple video that I shot in the kitchen, of this woman. Her name is Lisa Taylor. And, yes, I added, the back captions and we had a little lower third graphic, but literally just shot that sitting with my phone. And keep in mind, people, when you shoot video, it's this way.
Yeah.
Landscape. Even though...
Unless you're doing IGTV.
Unless you're doing IG, then you're holding it like this. But, that's simple. Like, low quality, doesn't have to be high produced. In 37 seconds, she was able to say, this is who I am. This is how this organization helped me. This is how this organization saved my life. And this is why I support them.
Yep.
That's it. Yep. Engage with emotions. That's the key.
Absolutely. I love that. Okay, well, thank you. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. Make sure you join us in the Facebook group if you haven't. I will be posting links to a lot of the resources that we talked about today, and I'm going to do a whole blog write-up to compile all of the ideas and everything for you. But thanks for joining us for the first episode of Nonprofit Social Media Nerds, and hope to see you next week at noon. All right. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.